Coach, obviously they started I think 9 of 11 and ended up shooting much lower percentage. What do you feel like you guys did as far as outside of, you made some personnel changes there at that point, but outside of that, scheme wise, to get them corralled on that end?
I think it was 22 points first 6 minutes, 77 rest of the way, and 41 the second half. That's just who we have to be. That's how we've found success in the games we've found success. We got to start on the defensive end. Our physicality, we'll take it to the legal limit, and then just have overall intent every possession. I did think we got them later into the clock. Something we've talked about, trying to get them later in the clock, and then you just run out of options at some point. But that offense is really good. I mean, they got a lot of good personnel, like we talked about pregame, the shooting piece, the offensive rebounding piece. We took the challenge tonight.
Then secondly, Jaylen, obviously he didn't play there in the fourth. Is it something, I know his elbow looked like it was bothering him in that first half. Was that a reason why he was out at that point, or were you seeing something with what you had on the floor that led to you sticking with that?
I think it was more just that. Like, it just led to that. We love him starting that fourth quarter to kind of get us a boost, get us going. Just his threat out there, his downhill thrust. And then as the quarter goes on, you just try to feel it out. But, yeah, other than that, we just kind of read the game. And Rashier, I thought, had good minutes in that time. And then Haywood's just overall performance was fantastic.
Just to follow up on Rashier, his obviously career high in points, career high in threes. You've talked about him being able to catch and shoot three, but he had a big offensive rebound there in that fourth quarter. Just his overall performance. I know the scoring is what will be highlighted, but what do you think of his overall play tonight?
He just puts in the work. It's continually getting better. We know with young guys, it's not always linear. It's not always straight up. But he's moving straight up pretty fast. It's always going to start defensively for him and simple offensively. But now he's spacing the floor so well. He's taking them in, making them at a better rate and in big moments. I thought tonight they were big moments. So steps forward for sure.
Coach, you kind of alluded to it, but just with Haywood's length and his athleticism, how much do you think that is going to impact your defense to be able to force those turnovers and mistakes?
Fantastic. I mean, he was from the jump. You could feel his physicality, his aggressiveness on the basketball. There's multiple possessions right there in the first quarter. We brought him in early with Grayson being out. We put him right in that slot right away. We could feel him. And then I thought offensively, as it went on, he made basketball plays. You forget he's been through it. He's been in a good system. He's been in playoffs. That came out in the second half.
Just to double check on Jaylen, he didn't come away with anything. He's good health wise.
Yeah, I don't think so. I know what play you're talking about with the elbow. Yeah. That was more on the defensive end. Yeah, so yeah, I don't think so. Nothing that I heard.
And then Grayson, was that just the knee flaring up this morning? It didn't get any better.
Yeah, just the way he woke up, then tried to test it out. Obviously, he made it through shoot around, and then coming back tonight just wasn't able to quite get it going.
I should probably leave it to Steven to ask this question, but I'm going to try my best with what you guys were doing defensively, like a little bit of top blocking or at least like noticing a lot of the pressure on the perimeter. How did you guys feel like the guys stepped up to the task of how closely you wanted your defenders to stay on their man?
I think it's back to closer than what it was. I mean, we talked about it this morning, fourth in defense in January. Our overall defense hasn't been good since February 1st. Part of that's the rebounding piece. It's a hard team to rebound against, but also it's just us guarding the basketball better. One-on-one, guarding the basketball and knowing that you have support behind. So we'll take, they run a lot of off-ball stuff, so we were able to try to heat up the passers in some of those situations, especially when it gets to the five-man. But again, that's a good offense. They've been rolling. I think they had 10 straight road wins. So just good overall intent on both ends.
Coach, when you all are assessing your defense, I know you want to force turnovers, but sometimes the game flow doesn't allow for it. Do you still equate when you're able to kind of drag teams into the deep shot clock and force those kind of scripted shots, equating it to turnovers essentially?
Yeah, of course. I know you'd ask a good question. We'd still rather like the live ball turnover where we can really fuel our offense. But the later you get into the clock, the more or less options you have offensively. So that's why we'd like to play fast. That's why defensively it matches to where we'd like to get them later in the clock. And we were able to at times, but, you know, they're a really good drag team, and I thought they even got us a little bit late with that. But just overall, just our mindset to get a stop was pretty good after that first 6 minutes. And even in that first 6 minutes, I'd say there's some shot variance in a part of that. So just good overall performance.
And then on the offensive side, it was early in the fourth quarter. It looked like you were trying to get into some of your flow, dribble, handoff stuff. And then Haywood kind of felt like he broke it off, just made a basketball play. Is that something you kind of expected, just adding more vets to the group and just having that experience to just go off script at times and just make a play when he's there?
Yeah, it's helpful. I mean, he definitely went off script on that. I think he did see the defender, how aggressive he was. And our 5 was up the floor, so knowing X5 was there. But I think that's what you want. You want your vets to show some of those things and then teach your young guys. Like that's good for our young guys to see someone. He's been through it. He's been in a good system. He's developed his own game to be the professional that he is, and he's ready. He's talked about. No, he didn't get in those first couple games, but he's ready. Even last game, end of game, we obviously trust him because of his body of work in the NBA that we respect.
Coach, I know you talked about Kaman sort of being in that Mark Williams role in terms of him being a rim runner when he's out there. How have you sort of seen him sort of emulate part of Mark's game, but still being able to do what he does in terms of his own skill set?
He has good people to watch. I think, Mark is more the rim thrust, lob threat, rim protector, rebounder, and Oso's the connector. And that's the way the game is going. You can see when the ball's on the perimeter, like we're going to have to play through man-man at times. I thought tonight he got Colin free on a couple plays just by his screen setting. That's growth. That's knowing what the defense is in and then coming up with a solution for it. So it's going to vary night to night. They're going to adjust night to night. I thought pretty good, again, rim protection. That's always going to be his number one thing. He's taking steps, but it doesn't stop. He's going to have to go on this road trip. You got someone that's going to come right downhill at him on Tuesday night. He's going to have to learn how to defend the rim and not foul.
Hi, Coach. I just want to talk about Jaylen. He's kind of already overcome that shooting slump he had a few games ago. Back-to-back games, he's provided a lot of offense for you guys. As a head coach, how do you go about, helping out a player like him who's so competitive and is wanting to, produce for this team? How do you talk to him? What do you say to him? How do you help him?
He's accomplished a lot early in his career. We've talked about it. This not only did he miss months, not weeks, months. He's going to have to pick up things mid-season in a new city, in a new system with new teammates. And he's taking steps, and there's no one harder on him than himself. So in our positions, we got to give him some grace, and we got to help him find his spots and find his rhythm and be there for him. And that's what we will try to provide every single night for every one of our guys. Just support. We know how good he is. We feel him. Like those spurts are unique to Jaylen Green. He really had it going in the first half, and just his ability it just brings a different layer to what we haven't had. So we'll give him grace, and he has taken steps in the last, I think it's 4 or 5 games, not just the last 2.
Thanks, Coach.
Good. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Coach.